What is your favorite? Quality versus quantity. Example: shoes. Especially if you're active and/or work on your feet. Yes, my husband used to wear running shoes he bought at Walmart, and they constantly hurt his feet and of course fell apart quickly. His first pair of Nikes was life-changing. Work. You will have some bosses that say, take any time you need. Get your job done and be ready to work when you have to, while others want your butt in a chair at your desk for 8 hours every day. No questions asked. I am a software engineer for an application used by a call center. We had a major release that helps automate some of the steps that the call center workers would otherwise do manually. It cut the average call time by about 40%, which we were really happy about. A few weeks later, one of the call center managers asked if we could remove the new feature because the employees weren't spending enough time on phone calls. This completely incompetent moron thought quantity of work was literally the only thing that mattered. I was like, dude, the whole point is to keep customers happy by limiting the length of their calls. He was ready to duck over our customers and all of his employees for no reason. Going through this right now. It's crazy how a great boss makes one's entire life better. If you have time to lean, you have time to clean. Usually said by people who take 20-minute smoke breaks and play cookie clicker in the office. I hate that prehistoric mentality that if you're not in the office, you're not working. They know damn well that the vast majority of my time most days is spent browsing Reddit and watching Twitch. But that's a hell of a lot better than me doing my work and leaving for some stupid reason. This mentality doesn't make any sense to me. Why does it matter if you're there for 5 or 8 hours if you get the same amount of work done? I spent so much time waiting around and wasting time at one internship because it was a butt-in chair type thing, whereas other people I know work for a few hours and get to go home. Medical treatment. Give me a few top-notch providers over dozens of morons who don't know what they're doing. Studying. I have friends who study for hours and hours but don't target specific material in a way that's effective. There have been tons of academic studies that show which kinds of studying are the most effective for retention, so I stick to those and end up studying for far less time. It depends on your goals. Cramming was plenty effective for me at getting a test done the next day, and for getting 90% of the class 1 hour afterward. I have a book recommendation for you, Deep Work by Cal Newport. Think you'd like it. Laughing face. I'd prefer one mighty poop over pebble-dashing the back of the toilet with 1,000 tiny pooplets. I took a poop that was easily 14 inches long yesterday. It rose from the toilet drain, up the back of the bowl, out of the water, curled around, and all the way back down next to itself. Hadn't pooped in 4 days. I just wanted somewhere I could say that where it was slightly relevant. Tools. One quality screwdriver, wrench or whatever will last you a lifetime and can replace dozens of cheap tools. I like Adam Savage's take on this. Buy the cheap tool first, and if you use it often, buy a better one. No use in buying expensive tools which you don't use a lot. A party. I used to party a lot, because I thought that's what fun was supposed to be. Now I just sometimes go to the parties I myself really like. Much better. I tried going to ragers and found that they just weren't my thing. I'd always feel weird in high school and college when I would say no to parties like that since I felt like I should have been going. But even so, I'd much rather chill around a bonfire, watch movies and play games and just keep the party smaller with a closer group of friends. Found it to be much more fun that way. One good kitchen knife. One good pan for cooking. Cowboy Bebop is only 26 episodes. See you, Space Cowboy. Clothing. I used to buy so many cheap items of clothing because it was only a few dollars. Then one day I realized I had so much clothing but nothing that great or that lasted more than a few uses. It's so much better to buy a couple of good quality pieces of clothing that you can wear for multiple occasions than to buy a bunch of cheap stuff. I like to find discounted items at nice stores. I've found shirts that are cheaper than what you can find at Walmart at a Banana Republic. But the quality certainly wasn't cheaper. The deals you can find right after Christmas are absolutely amazing. This so much. I used to buy pants for like $20 a pair. Because what psycho spends $100 on a pair of jeans? Finally I realized yay, the pants were $20 each. But I was going through 34 pairs a year. Went out, spent a few hundred on some higher quality jeans and shorts. And have had the same pairs for going on 4 years now. Still no holes or anything. Birthdays and anniversaries wouldn't be special if you had them every day, right? There was a year where it seemed like we had to go to a birthday party every 2 weeks. And you're right, they kind of stopped being special. If you had a birthday every day, you'd die in a few months. Good point. I like it. A nice, fitted suit versus 3 ill-fitted suits purchased from an average place. Same price, but makes a world of difference. I've never had a fitted suit custom made, but I always buy a nice suit for cheapish then take it to the tailors to be fitted. A nice cost-effective way of getting around it if you're pinching the pennies. I showed up at my brother-in-law's wedding with a suit that was handed down to me. Mother-in-law was not having it in her son's wedding, so she took me out to get fitted for one. I had never experienced that before and I was in my 30s. My God, does wearing a fitted suit make you feel amazing? I dreaded wearing nice clothes like that because they were so uncomfortable. But that suit was like wearing a second skin. So much movement, no adjusting all the time. I still have it and wear it when I want to feel awesome lol. If I suddenly became rich, the first thing I'd buy would be an entire wardrobe of fitted outfits. The worst suit I've ever been fitted for is my birthday suit apparently. You can also breathe much better in a good quality suit compared to the cheap ones. Same goes for footwear and shirts. Shitty dress clothes are the worst. Honestly, even a cheaper suit and taking it to the tailor. Same with dress shoes. You can buy 4 or 5 crappy dress shoes for the cost of 1 pair of Allen Edmonds, Alden, etc. But I'd rather have one really nice pair. Nice shoes are more comfortable, nicer looking over time, and will outlast any cheap piece of crap. Unless you're one of those guys who just looks great in anything. Alfredo's Pizza Cafe versus Pizza by Alfredo. Pizza by Alfredo is a hot circle of garbage. Oh no, it's bad. It's real bad. It's like eating a hot circle of garbage. Okay. What's better? A medium amount of good pizza? Or all you can eat of pretty good pizza? There's been a recent trend of TV shows only having like 10 episodes per season instead of 20, and a lot of times it's so much better for the show. British TV has been doing that for years, largely due to budget constraints, and it's one of the reasons many of the big dramas are really tight on the story and characterization. I'm glad to see it's a trend that American TV is jumping on. Chernobyl will only have 1 season, but damn was that one of the best shows I've ever seen. However, 6 episodes is not better than 10. Approximately 30 years ago I bought a couple of cooking spoons. Each a solid piece of stainless steel. Paid $6 total. My mother-in-law beat each at me for wasting money, because I could have gotten the cheap chromed ones with plastic handles for $3.78 total. I said the 2 I chose would last longer. She said I just wanted fancy things and thought I was better than other people. I'm still using mine 30 years later. Hell, my grandchildren will probably be using them this year. They are beautiful and functional. Edit. As requested. The spoons. In my experience, single-piece stainless steel utensils are also usually a lot easier to clean off even the most caked on stuff. Same with glass containers or mason jars versus Tupperware. As a man without a dishwasher, at least half of the weight to any kitchen purchase relates to how easy it is to clean. Most of my stuff is single-piece and durable with smooth curves and no grooves or connection points for dirt to hide. My cat escaped into my in-laws' garage. While looking for her, I found 2 vintage cast iron pans from the 50s that belonged to my partner's great-grandmother. I restore vintage cast iron. I'm going to strip and reseason them and return them to my in-laws, and the pans will probably last another 50 years. To get comparable quality pans today is hundreds of dollars. Give me a well-made antique over some new plastic crap any day. I never understood that viewpoint. That wanting to spend a little extra for quality means you think you are better than everyone. It's not like you bought a Rolls-Royce. They're only spoons, edit. To all the people who think I am shaming Rolls owners, go look for something else to be offended by. I am comparing the low cost of upgrade in the spoons a couple dollars to the much larger upgrade of a Rolls. This stuff is something that's always been stressed in my family. Most of my parents' cookware is older than I am. This year my roommate bought some Supernus pans and a couple plastic-tipped cooking spoons, spatulas to protect them. This year our other roommate ruined them with metal forks, spoons, because he couldn't be bothered to use cooking spoons he would have to wash afterwards when he could just use the fork he's gonna eat with anyway. We'll be buying another set of pans when we move into a new place without him. Your quality is key, but upkeep is nearly as important. Well, you're certainly better than the sort of person who BTCHES at their in-laws over $2.13 spent on cooking spoons. Imagine being that much of an asshole and then accusing the person of thinking they're better than people, when your whole argument is a thinly disguised insistence that you're better than them. She BT-ched at you for $2.22? My mom's last days. 2 weeks from pancreatic cancer diagnosis to her death. We were expecting to be able to care for her at home for at least a couple of months. She refused treatment. But 2 days after coming home, realizing how much strain would be put on us to care for her, my eldest niece was on the verge of dropping out of her final year of school to look after her beloved granny. I think my mom, always the stubborn, independent one, just decided, no, not doing this to my family. I'm going to go to see my husband. But honestly, the 2 days we had with her were all quality. Someone was sitting with her every second. She battled to speak at the end, but her kids and grandkids and her puppy were all there. We all got to say everything that had always been unsaid. When we ran out of words, we sang to her. She literally died in her granddaughter's arms. Of course, we'd have loved a bit longer, but for her, quality was definitely better than the quantity that would just have included increasing suffering and dependence and indignity. Thank you for watching. Comment self if you have reached this far into the video. Have a good day.